Kwe, Minogishgad. I'm an Algonquin Anishinaabe cultural ambassador, knowledge keeper, land defender, water protector from the unceded territory of Kitigan-Zibi Algonquin First Nation. My ancestors have been caretakers of these lands since time immemorial and will continue to do so until the end of time. As someone who works closely with community and culture, I'm here to help bring these stories forward, stories that have kept our people rooted on Turtle Island since time immemorial. My work allows me to connect people to our languages, our ways of life, and to continue to foster deep cultural knowledge that continues to guide and root our communities today. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional unceded territory of my ancestors, the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We honor our relatives and the ongoing relationship with this land today. Today, we will hear some stories about resiliency, leadership, and cultural awareness. These are stories that inspire us, teach us, and remind us of who we are. As time goes by on Canada's First Nations, some traditions, skills, and ancestral knowledge risk being lost. In Nottawaganeg First Nation in New Brunswick, food insecurity affects nearly 40% of the community. But one man is working hard to change that. Let's meet this community member who's not only feeding his people, but is also teaching the old ways, keeping culture alive through connection to the land.
Well, corn's been with the First Nations here for thousands of years. It originated from down in Mexico. My name's Jeff Larry. I'm from Nottawaganeg here. Everybody knows it as Eel Ground. And my job title here is Land-Based Coordinator. Our main programs here at the Community Food Center here are drop-in meals, are our big one, because we do get a lot of people. There's approximately 160 people every Monday and Wednesday that utilize our meal service. And it's all free, and they're great, delicious meals, so it keeps them coming back. We rely a lot on voluntary service and all that stuff because we are short-staffed here, and we do have lots of volunteers that come here. It's very important, I think, because a lot of people nowadays, with the price of food and all that stuff, kind of get pushed back onto what they can afford with food. And so there are food items that are more expensive than others, so they kind of look at what they can afford, which might not be as nutritious as some other meals that are available here. So there's approximately 1,100 band members here, and the food insecurity here is a little over 40%, I do believe, which is pretty high. So our gardens, we had funding for the gardening and that stuff, so we got ourselves a beautiful greenhouse built there, and we filled it up here this year, and it was doing very well. And we have an outdoor garden as well right beside our greenhouse, and that did really well this year. When we do have volume of stuff out in that garden, we would incorporate it into our meals. I think my job as a land-based coordinator is very important, just because it is slowly dying away and fading away, which people should not be doing. Like, living off the land is something that we've done for years.
Whether it's planting seeds or building nations, these stories show us that our traditions are not just memories, they're living memories and teachings. And when we honor those ways of life, we honor ourselves. Chief Terry Paul is a highly respected Indigenous leader known for his strong commitment to community development, cultural preservation, and the advancement of Indigenous rights. Under his leadership, Member 2 has seen a significant growth and success, from being a very poor community to becoming a model for other Indigenous communities across Canada.
there wasn't much to be had here at all. Like, you know, the roads weren't paved, there was no indoor plumbing. It was just a really tough life. Most of the day I was busy trying to get enough to eat and, you know, to live for the day, you know, and we helped each other to try and get the right kind of nutrition that we needed. Having certain obligations we had, like myself, and having to go to school, but just things were so hard at home, but that was really difficult, and that was kind of like secondary in mind, like, you know, so a lot of us missed a lot of school, and then, like I did for sure. We knew that we needed to work, so most of us went away, and I went to Boston to work there and get more training in finance, you know, and made me realize like how much there is, how good things could be, you know, if you had the opportunity. And so I stayed in the field of community development and helping the community, and I came back home to do that. So I mean, I guess it showed the chief that I was doing really good work, and I guess he seen that I could do a lot if I was given the opportunity. And I didn't even think about it at the time. He's the one that asked me, why don't you run for chief? I mean, coming from the chief, that was a really good compliment. I guess passed the test. So I did run for chief, and you know, 40 years later, going on 41 years, you know, it's never any one individual. Like, you know, here it's a team of people, and of course the community itself, where I get really good support from the community on what I'm doing, you know, and that really gives me the confidence to go after things that may be quite difficult to achieve, but working with a team, you know, you can do anything. A lot of it was of our initiative, but it's also about relationships, like good relationships with government and with business and the people outside, and we worked hard to accomplish that.
I just wanted to welcome everybody here. I feel my heart is very warm about people coming here. There's so many from all the different communities across Mi'kmaq, not only Mi'kmaq, but the rest of the country. You know, it's people are liking what we do here, like our powwows, and even the chiefs from other communities like our powwow. So that's pretty good, you know, when you're able to do that.
The state of the economics that was here, and which was pretty well none, to where we're pretty well a leader on the island. And if we can help, like, you know, improve the progress of the whole area, you know, that's great, that's good. Then, you know, it benefits us all, not only one side, but all of us.
So it was a collaboration with myself and Brenda Wilson, who has been a partner for me on the board. We collaborated together and created the flag. It's been a bit of a rocky road. I'm going to be honest with the flag. When it was first put up, not everything was a great conversation. Some people thought that we were defacing the Canadian flag, which we are not. It was created to bring awareness to murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls, but also along with all women and girls. We raised the flag on May 5th. We raised the flag for Indigenous Days with the Cougars, and there's other days that we raise the flag to bring awareness. And when I drive in and I look over to Mr. PG and I see him holding that flag, I am so incredibly proud that I've been able to be a part of something bigger than myself.
Since the disappearance of my sister, Ramona Lisa Wilson,
we've been working on advocating for not only my sister, but many of the other families of missing and murdered loved ones. As a group, as a society, we're able to put up the red dress flag. And it took quite a bit of organizing to design it, to bring it to life. What it means to me is that it brings an awareness of, because this is the busy highway, it's Highway 16 and Highway 97. This is where the majority of our missing and murdered loved ones have disappeared or are still, or have been murdered. We want to be able to bring that awareness out here, and hopefully it travels along these highways so that people know that their loved ones aren't forgotten. And this is a great reminder to show our communities and the many people, the traffic that flows through all directions, that they see this and they know that, you know, it's an epidemic, and that we have a situation here that we need to continuously work on with the calls for action. So that's what I think about when I see the red flag or the red dress flag up, because I'm hoping it's a reminder to everybody that this is about safety, and it's about keeping our community safe in all directions.
Gulch is a place that people came to live, found a house and that, and went to work in the mill. Well, all the families were good people. They were all good people. They come in from St. George's, Stephenville, Flat Bay, all of them, all Mi'kmaq people. All Mi'kmaq people. This was, as they said, this was a reserve. Mi'kmaq Reserve. We was talked about a lot when I was going to school. We wasn't allowed to play with other children. They didn't want us to play with them because we was from Gulch, and it had a bad name. But I don't know why it had a bad name. Some people know it was bad down there, but you know, not everybody. But we still had a bad name, and I don't know, really don't know why. It was years before we even talked about Gulch or anything. I would never say I was from Gulch earlier on, because people don't be talking about you. And if I had a boyfriend on Broadway or anything, I had a aunt living on Broadway, so I used to get him to bring me there, and I'd go on in, and he'd think I'd lived there. Mom, she come up from Bombay. So she met Dad, I suppose, in here, and she wasn't going to go out there and live, and they come in here, and they lived in here. Yeah. I was about 7 years old when I come in here. No, I was 5 years old, because I was 7 when I went to school. We wake up in the morning and get ready for school, and we'd have to walk, in the wintertime, we'd walk about up a path, about 5 minutes, I suppose, would take us up to the path. And when in the winter time, it was snow up to there. So we used to go up through there. And we used to have our play cards and watch hockey and that. We was the first house on the hill had TV in 1959. And everybody then used to come over Saturday nights to watch the Montreal Canadiens. I was 22 when I left. I got married, yeah. I got married and moved up Hammermouth. I'd go back there today to live. Yeah, we never had no water, we never got no electricity till 1957 or something. Gulch was a good place to live. And people there was good people, you know. And they would live there too if they had a chance. Yeah.
For generations, Indigenous culture was silenced, not by accident, but by design. Yet the teachings and traditions and spirit of our people continue to live on. Carrying them forward is more important than ever, and that's exactly what Jared Big Canoe has committed himself to. Through healing, singing, drumming, and creating a space for connection, Jared is helping others rediscover and reclaim their roots. His passion isn't just about remembering the past, it's about building a future grounded in strength and tradition and community.
A lot of us were had our culture removed from our lives by design. So for me, I see that, and I've done this practice ever since I was a teenager, because I was lucky. I grew up with a wealth of it, of who I am. So when I seen people that were like searching for it or trying to connect back to the community of who they know they are, or who they know they are, and they were just trying to find a way to like collect that information or to be accepted into finding out about it. I would take people under my wing. I would bring them to the drum. I would bring them to powwows. I would bring them to ceremonies. I would do ceremonies for them. It's said that like when you hold a piece of an animal, that it's almost like its virtues would transfer to you, and you can help people with it. So when we do the eagle fan, like there's like wind that comes, and there's people's energy field sometimes is carrying stuff. So what you would do is like you'd fan them off, get them freshened up a bit. I've been given sacred items that were generations before me to carry. So not only me, it's not only me that I have work to do. It's like these items. This the item that came from my grandfather. He did work in his life where, like I said, he opened up health centers. He made it possible for Indigenous people to access their type of healing. I'm carrying his item, so it's like I have to carry on his work as well. The way that it's understood is like when you hit the drum, all of your ancestors all the way around, however far away they are, they hear that and they direct their attention right to what you're doing. It's almost like every person that I end up meeting is either someone that I can learn from or I could teach. Sheshigwan is what you call it in the language. And Sheshigwan is the tool that the creator used to see how big the universe was, where he was. And initially when the creator's consciousness first became aware, it was in total darkness, and he sent out a sound to see how big the space was that he was in. And eventually it would echo back, and he would start to have understanding of where he was and what he was going to do there. And then he started creating all of this beautiful stuff that we live in. As a young boy, one of the first things that I remember is walking up to a drum while my uncle and my dad were drumming on it. And I walked up to it and I was just tall enough for the drum to hit my chest, and it was rumbling into my chest, and I could feel, this is important. This is something important to my life. And ever since then, I've been singing, I've been learning, but to this point in my life, it's where I'm teaching now, because it's something that gives me so much happiness and pride and the ability to really feel like I know who I am. So I gladly look for anyone who wants to learn about it, and then I teach it. So the drum is one of the places where teaching happens, where it's just about letting go of your own ego and your idea that you're all that's important, and you're locking in with a group of people in a state of one mind, oneness. In our culture, we use dreams as a form of direction. It's almost like I've seen dreams that have shown me where I'm going in my life, and where I hope healing takes me is I hope to open a healing center / treatment center, like addiction recovery type of place, where I'm always able to help people, have people there to help. I'm also always looking for my shkabewises, or my apprentices, or people who have gifts that I recognize, and I want to help empower them to become healers, because as much people out there who are suffering, there needs to be more people who will be willing to help them, right?
I want to say, Miigwech, thank you for joining us. These stories are part of a larger movement to reclaim, restore, and revitalize Indigenous ways of life. If you're inspired, take action. Learn about the First Nations near you. Support Indigenous-led programs, or simply share these stories. Together, we can keep our culture strong for today and for the generations yet to come. In our languages, there's no word for goodbye. Rather, it's I'll see you again. So miigwech, everyone, and majashin until next time.